Up everyone. All right, talk about a push that the markets had just has not stopped. So we'll kick it off with GU for today. So from a high time frame perspective, yeah, our outlook recently has been just absolutely perfect. Like every 15-minute outlook that I've had over the past couple of weeks has just been spot on. So it's doing exactly what we wanted to do, which is great. Obviously, for the last few days, though, we've just been incredibly bullish, especially on that Friday, which obviously hasn't left us with a lot of structure to work with. Now, we are inside the daily extreme supply. So very, very strong area, has super high probability of holding. Really don't love the fact that we've obviously just rocketed straight into it. And given that aspect, I'm not going to be surprised to see it actually get blown through. Now, we can expect it though to give us a bit of a sell-off. We are reacting from quite a good point down here, which is partly that decisional area of more so like our weekly break structure. I'll just put that there as your weekly. Cool. So yeah, price very well can push through from where it is, make that new daily range and even weekly range as well, which is pretty crazy. But in terms of what I'm looking for, I am anticipating price to be able to give us a bit of a reaction from here. But GU, I'm not looking for too much. I don't really like the structure that we've got. I'd like to be able to target these equal lows that we've got built up down here. Like, makes a lot of sense to come and take those. And also as well to be able to give some sort of a break to the downside before pushing through. I feel like this area needs to generate some liquidity if we're going to have enough strength to push through it. It may just do it on momentum alone, like it did yesterday in New York. It just pushed up after making equal lows. This may have swept on a different broker, which would have made a lot more sense why it did that. However, yeah, right now in GU, we don't have a lot to work with. Like I'm not expecting this range to hold, so I'd like to sell through it. You've got a 5-minute internal break here, mitigation, and another 5-minute internal break. These breaks are rubbish. Like, as you're going off the back of this being your first one, creating the sequence of breaks, and it's just a really small rubbish breaker structure. So yeah, not expecting them to do a whole lot, and they don't hold a lot of structural significance. We have since mitigated that extreme point, had a very solid sell-off, mitigating this demand area here. Now, this demand area is only responsible for essentially creating this point as internal retest of that break and inducing retest. So we know that this point here is very likely to be a liquidity point. I'd like to sell through it. I'm open to selling even off the sweep of this high. Yeah, other than that, there's not. We don't have a lot to be able to work with. Like, you've had this little inducement high just here, which is now giving us a very small inducement low. You might find you get something in here on the 1 minute. You've broken that retest. Second break. Yeah, this may go if you get like a second break here. Maybe worthwhile to actually set that limit. It's probably been valid as is already, to be honest with you. But yeah, I'm definitely not overly convinced by this structurally. I'm actually pretty open to this limit though, to be fair. I would keep a bit of an eye on this and see what it's going to do. Guys, so we'll see what GU's going to do. Yeah, makes a lot of sense to sell off, take these lows and target those lows down there. Not sure what it's really going to do from here because it's in a bit of a weird spot and is extremely bullish. So we'll just see see what that ends up wanting to do. I have just put that on there. So we'll see. But moving across to EU. So EU itself, I actually prefer it. So similar sort of scenario. It's in the extreme of its daily point. It's also the extreme of the weekly range as well, just going against the structure cycle. Not expecting this area to hold as we've had that more or less complete retracement of the daily leg and really pushing up from there. Very, very against momentum. So yeah, again, this point should push through. It is against the structure cycle, so it makes a lot of sense to be able to drive through it. However, given the significance of the point, you would expect for it to be able to give at least somewhat of a reasonable reaction. Now, what you've got obviously a 15-minute break inside of it. this could have also already confirmed this area as a smart money trap with this little bit of a sell-off that we've had just here and the push through after the mitigation of it. However, what we've had since is a little internal break to the downside, a little bit of internal retest created, and we've now potentially got price pushing back up. But a decisional area here, which I'd be happy to sell from to at least target the inducement of this low. Again, same sort of thing as GU. I think if this area is going to get pushed through, it makes sense to at least come down and take a low of that significance and then drive through from there. So we'll see what this one's do. It has just obviously taken Asia lows here as well. So if we do get that push up, take it this high, it will obviously entice more Asia low buyers. So sit on the hands a little bit. The issue that we've got really at the moment is just the fact that we are so bullish and yeah, fighting momentum, but it does make a lot of sense to sell from where price is. So just got to weigh up obviously that risk with it. Now AU, again, same story. Extreme of daily supply. This one follows momentum. However, again, going against current internal momentum. Very bullish. Very bullish. What you've got on AU, you've got a really average internal range. This whole area, none of it's taken any liquidity. We've only got the tiniest little bit of retest into it. No liquidity generated on this pullback. You're now seeing prices start to dance around a little bit. If we got the take of this low, I'd be actually open to buying it, targeting the liquidity that's been built up along here. Don't love AU though. Don't have the best structure to work with. Yeah, not overly keen, to be honest. I'd like to see more structure developed before I do anything with it. DXY is at the very bottom of its daily leg. You get a 15-minute point down here that's yet to be mitigated. It's obviously more or less like inside this area, but it's very full. It's very mitigated. So not really seeing it as mitigating anything currently. Like there is an hourly point that sits just here that it's inside of, but it's just very filled. So kind of seeing the DXY in the middle of nowhere at the moment. It makes a lot of sense to push up, obviously, given where it is. However, same sort of story. It's so bearish. Hasn't really come into anything yet. Like obviously you've got your first internal break here and you have induced the retest of it. And it hasn't done anything with it yet. So, you know, that might push price back up from there. But following along with the momentum, it makes a lot of sense to push bearish where it is. You've obviously also got internal break, quite an average point. It's taken a little bit of liquidity. You've now generated internal retest, which has been swept. So you might see price sell off from where it is. However, it very well can also come up, mitigate this, and then sell off or even induce it, and then sell off. But it also makes a lot of sense to be able to drive up and retrace. It's got a lot of imbalance to fill. So we're in this spot now where we're waiting to see if price is going to develop its new structure cycle. So we're just going to have to sit on our hands a little bit, wait to see what it's going to do, take it from there. We absolutely no news today. More or less at the minute, expecting price to start setting up for the coming week and month, and really, you know, the next 2 months of this quarter. So we're in a good spot. Just going to have a bit of patience where we are currently with price. Don't get caught out in anything silly, and yeah, take it from there and see what price does. More so, I'm expecting next week to be a better week and this week to be more of like a development week.